Hello world. This is Be in the Know. And this is Be in the Know Backstage, not the weekly show that I'm super excited about launching. But this is all the research that goes behind the scenes. So welcome to my hotel room, a little bit up and personal, but I live between hotel rooms from city to city. I'm actually on my way to going to Dubai. And one of the things that I often do when I am faced with going to a country that I've actually just been once to ITEX last year, I like studying and realizing what is the identity infrastructure and state of affairs of technology and all the things that I love considering. So this is me sharing with you some of the things that I learned. And if you want the fine print, I actually wrote a blog post, which is probably below this video, that you can go read. So one of the things that is super interesting when you think about sort of the digital transformation that you've seen is identity can be called a happiness issue. And I'll talk to you about it through the lenses of Dubai. So one of the things that I find super interesting is the role of government when it comes to identity. Governments have been certified sort of starters of what's called your legal identity today. They issue birth certificates, passports, driver's license, the issue to be a person who is alive. And it often involves a physical interaction. When you're going in and you're being registered, you're taking your mug shot because apparently only terrorists smile, so you're not supposed to smile. Can somebody else actually talk to me about that? Because I don't understand. And I kept looking at, when you look at identity as one of the primary identity providers, government plays a crucial role in building the identity infrastructure for the full digital economy. So when you look at it, governments are increasingly spending money on trying to figure that out. And often two super cited identity systems are Estonia and the powerhouse of India when it comes to identity and looking at how they've onboarded over 1 billion people in biometrics. So I decided to say, okay, let's look at Dubai. What's in Dubai? So digital identity in Dubai is actually a happiness goal. By equating digital adoption to population's happiness and well-being, the United Emirates has nurtured a digital transformation that has pretty impressive start since the beginning of the decade, when they moved to diversify their oil to a knowledge-based economy. In 2016, actually, Dubai introduced something called the Smart Pass Single Sign-On. And what that does is it enables UAE citizens and visitors to log into e-government portals through a unified identity number. And this UAE Pass has an app that actually rolled out last year in October of 2018. And it now added a digital signature feature, which I'm kind of curious and I'm going to probably be looking further into it. And this allows, technically the claim is for seamless transactions with federal and local government agency. And it does that by enabling users to make big ticket item purchases from smartphones, which is something we haven't seen. And it's an interesting connection that I often see between payments and identity. So when you look at this, it provides, this UAE Pass has the promise to provide a single mobile identity for both public and private sector. Biometrics, meanwhile, allow travelers to pass through the Dubai airport. The smart gates that they've implemented say that you can pass it using just biometrics between 10 to 15 minutes. And apparently, business class and first class get to go through a tunnel, which is biometrically enabled, and you don't actually have to do active authentication because it's done as you pass. So stay tuned because I am flying business class and I will be testing this because I'm super curious. And I'm curious to know, how do they have it? What biometrics do they have? What do they do with it? So I started looking at this, and often when we talk about identity infrastructures and some of these systems, people often ask me, what about the blockchain? I'm not going to talk about blocks and chains like Birch talks about, but I am going to tell you that when I was looking into this, there's actually some interesting use cases that Dubai claims to be having on the blockchain front. And it's using a technology infrastructure to create seamless opportunities and transactions for real estate. So to me, the whole idea of how the real estate purchase from beginning to end starts, it's a nightmare. I don't know if any of you have ever done it, but I have, and it was painful. So I'm all for it on understanding how that's actually going to come to life. And I'll give a shout out to a company called Fabrica with a guy called Simone that Matteo Rizzi introduced me to that's actually looking to change the real estate game. So I'm curious to go learn in Dubai and call him up in San Francisco and find out what the differences are. So if you know anybody who I should be talking to, let me know because I'm curious. But when I look at all this, the thing that often strikes me is that it's not all a cohesive strategy and a cross-sector collaboration, which is often the main problem when it comes to identity. Identity needs an emphasis on not just mobile penetration because a lot of systems and infrastructure still deal with legacy. And it's not like legacy is a bad word, but it's something you have to deal with. And it comes in the form of messaging. Look at Swift. Corresponding banking still has messaging that comes from aeons ago. What makes you think that identity doesn't? So I'm pretty curious to try to figure it out how a thriving ecosystem like Dubai, filled with expats, has a business innovation path to really build a government framework strategy that will promote this idea of an individual and an enterprise having mobility by having a united path. My questions become then, okay, when this happens, there's normally a leading agency. When I started researching, I found Smart Dubai, and I'm going to quote it. The government facilitator for Dubai Smart City Transformations is the team captain tasked with taking the long view on this digital transformation identity challenge. And the other partners that I found is IBM, there's the Dubai blockchain platform, there is Dark Matter Group, which is inside of the UAE Pass, there's Emiratech, which is apparently the smart gate behind technology, there's Prince and Identity with the biometric kiosks, and there's a company that I've never heard of that I'm curious about called Object Tech, which is a blockchain-based airport security infrastructure. So the interesting thing is that they're looking for interoperability models where they can use the different attributes that each one of the service providers has to bring about the true driving adoption. So interesting as all of this goes by, it's not about just orchestrating across commitment and collaboration. It's about building standards to safely and securely manage all this data, all this identity stuff. So you hear me talk about this a lot because I'm quite passionate, but who owns all that data? Who do you think will own all that data? Does it belong to the Smart City initiative? Does it belong to Dubai? Does it belong to its citizens? And it's interesting because there's a few claims to say that physical documentation is all going to be abolished by 2021. And when the government goes completely digital, Emiratis and others will find themselves releasing and surrendering their data, alongside with privacy and some freedom to live in such a smart city. So my question for you is, are smart cities that fail-safe? Can someone tamper with my identity when a breaches occur? How are these systems ready for digitally transforming but securing me? And how do I get to partake on the data that belongs to me? So that's my overview for today. And I'm going to Dubai tomorrow, and you'll see some video posts about me trying to figure it out, how this tunnel works. And hopefully I get to talk to some amazing smart people about identity and all the things data related to finance that I love. And if there's anybody that you think I should connect to in Dubai, I'm there until about March 1st. So don't be shy, shoot me a message, and I'll see you in the next either airport or hotel room. Be in the know. Thank you for watching.